Welcome back from that timeout. And of course, it is Top Tech, and I've been speaking with Dr. Obayomi Gregory. Doctor, I looked through your CV, and it's a whole lot. International relations, journalism, conflict and strategic relation, and political science, and so much more. And I'm wondering, you've been talking about the kinds of leadership and the kinds of people we have in society. What is your perspective on how Nigeria is being managed?
Like I said, the leadership evolves from the followership. Those who are in leadership position today, who are in position of authority, were once followers some years back, complaining with us against the system. But now they are there. And unfortunately, we are seeing the same thing play out. So the leadership thing is, to me, I think we have problem with the followership, seriously. Because it's from the followership that it will normally recruit our leaders to go into that position. And once you have issues, why you are a follower, maybe there may not be any serious solution to our problem if you graduate to that position of leadership. So what I normally want to advise is that we should have self-examination. There are good Nigerians, very, very brilliant Nigerians, straightforward, morally inclined, people who are ready to serve. But the evil machination of the bad ones will never allow the good ones to see the light of the day. They are ready to steal, they are ready to spend money to get to whatever they want to get to, they are ready to do anything. But the other man who is good, who wants to serve, will say, why should I know politicians who sell their houses in London and in the US when they want to contest election. When you sell your house, you want to make back your money in many folds by the time you get there. But for somebody who wants to serve the people, you want to go and sell your property to get into political office, because you start thinking, if I sell this one, if I don't win, what will happen? And if I win, will I be stealing the resources of the country? No. So the evil ones are so many and so overwhelming to the good ones that you start asking, where is our solution coming from? There are many good Nigerians, like I said, dedicated Nigerians, morally inclined, hardworking, those who have the interest of the people at heart. But these terrible ones, they are powerful, they fight back, and they are always in a domineering situation. So
does this have something to do with the fact that we still have a large chunk of us who do not have requisite educational background as we would desire?
That is part of it, because for a man to be able to perform well, you need to be educated, you need to be exposed to the various aspects of administration, rulership, being able to serve the people. It is a science that we must learn, which we can acquire through educational distance. But this education, like those of us who have education, what is the impact of that educational qualification we have on our life? What is the impact? Because you see professors, like the other professors who went to support them to change figures in the Cross River State that was jailed sometimes. A professor in the university turning votes, number of votes, in order to give advantage to the person who did not win election. Then you start asking yourself, what's the impact of the education of that man, a man who has risen to the level of a professor? That's the peak. That's the zenith of that academic area, the educational this thing we are talking about. And it's the man that has gone to, descended so low to the extent of turning figures to favor somebody who did not win election. And he has to be sent to the tribunal and to the court, and he was jailed. So education should be internalized. It should be incorporated into our ways of doing things. There are certain things an educated person should not be seen doing, but that is not the case in our society. You see those who are educated, and in any case, you ask yourself, how did they get these certificates they are claiming? If it's true fraud, like that professor, I'm sure when he was in school, he must have been cheating. Maybe up to that level, and he will get his way to that level. And now he has come to expose himself as a cheat, as a fraudulent person at that level. And he has himself to blame. So all these things, we really have to practicalize whatever knowledge we acquire. We have to internalize them, integrate them into our lives. Because to me, when I look at an educated person, I look at the way you behave. That are you really different from somebody who has not gone to school? If not, I don't have any regard for you. There are many educated people who are educated illiterate. Many in this country. Some just go to school to acquire the knowledge, not because as I'm here, there are certain things I will not do because I will say, they will say with your exposure, with your educational background, you are still doing this. So I will abstain. But Nigerians are not like that. It is do what I say and don't do what I do, which is really killing us in this society.
There's a school of thought that says, sorry to cut you, there's a school of thought that says the Nigerian reward system is unrealistic, so it gives room for a lot of these tendencies to just become pronounced. For instance, the average pensioner is not having a take home that will actually take him or her home.
Yes.
The average civil servant is still battling with minimum wage that cannot take care of him or her, and including the family, except for those privileged agencies and departments that are also bearing the brunt of the harsh economic situation now. But be that as it may, the system, do you agree with this school of thought that the system is directly or indirectly making Nigerians to exhibit these criminal or corrupt tendencies?
Yes, I agree totally with that disposition, because you see, a system, you ask yourself, who are the judges of this, the allocation of reward and punishment in the system? Those who are the judges, who are the one assessing people. If a fraudulent man is assessing a system to select people who are to be rewarded for good work, for dedication to duty, if the man himself is fraudulent, he will not be interested in somebody who is doing well. Is that his brother who the hands is deep in crime, in fraud, that we want to? So Nigerians have come, in those days, our parents, our elder brother in those days, they will work till retirement. They don't want to put their hand in government resources. They don't want to do this, they don't want to do that. They uphold high moral standard till they retire. Then they will get their benefits at the right time and they will enjoy their retirement. But now, it is those who steal that enjoy retirement. So anybody that is in government, if you are not the type that is highly disciplined, you want to join them. Even the reward system, a fraudulent man cannot reward an upright man. He will be looking for people who are hands in trade with him in the system, and the other people they will identify and reward. And you find out that these days, those who are corrupt, who are fraudulent, are those who are enjoying retirement. And very few. So most Nigerians will join them, say, my brother that retired, my daddy that retired many years, he didn't get anything, he's suffering, if not for the children. So let me go join them. But it's not a good way, as far as I'm concerned. There are ways we can survive if we moderate our activities, if we moderate ourselves while in office. You can have some little savings. Even when they come out with their wahala, then you can always survive. So the reward system is the judge, those who award the reward to those who are the recipient. They are not impartial. They themselves, their values, their ways of assessment is fraudulent. So if you are a good person, if you are an upright person doing the right thing, nobody will reward you. So most Nigerians will join them in order to benefit when they are in the system, so that they won't suffer at the end of the day. But for those who don't want to spoil their appearance or their family's name, they want to say, if you like, do what you do. I will still maintain my lane. And that is what is happening. So the reward system is fraudulent, because those who are managing it themselves are deep in corruption. So they cannot really see those who are doing well and reward them. It's those who are in their group, maybe the acolytes, that they will say, okay, you are the one that will reward. And they continue, the rich will continue to get richer and the poor will continue to get poorer. That is what is happening in our system. If you are truthful, if you are straightforward, people will just mark you down. That don't allow him to get to that place, or he won't allow us to steal. Once it's there, some of us are experiencing this thing. But we don't care. We know it's the end. At the end of the day, all is vanity. If you like, acquire the whole world, all is vanity. When day comes, everything becomes zero. And that is it. So we just need to survive while we are here, have with our daily living, have a minimum of everything. You have fuel in your car, be able to buy your electricity, and those are the basic things we need. Every other thing is flamboyance as far as I'm concerned. They are just mere display of wealth, which doesn't take us to anywhere. So if we allow people to be happy, the world is good when everybody's happy. That's my belief. Yeah. The world is good. It has meaning when everybody's happy. I don't wish any of my mates or my colleagues or my family members should come and be begging from me. Why not everybody have? So that all of us can come together and enjoy life together. That's my principle. But Nigerians want to take what belongs to everybody so that everybody will come in to beg from them. Impoverize people, impoverishment of the whole system, and you pauperize the people to the extent that they now become slavish. And that's what the average big man in Nigeria enjoys. Let everybody come to his doorstep in the morning to come and beg for food. But that's not the way life should be. Life should be enjoyed by everybody. When there's anything to do, let everybody contribute. And not that everybody will be looking on to one big man somewhere that you now become slaves. It's not a way of life. But in any case, that's how they understand their own. But it's good for everybody to be happy. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, I want to tap into your wealth of experience again.
Yeah.
Can any society exist without conflict?
No, it's not possible. Because right from time immemorial, even if you look at the Bible, there are a lot of conflicts in one society, one community going to. You see, the life is a life of contest. Life generally is a life of contest. People want, it's life of survival. It's where everybody wants to survive. And your survival at times can impinge on the other person's freedom. So conflict, contest is part of life from time immemorial, from creation. Like I said, if you look at the Bible, a lot of competitions, a lot of contestations and competition between human beings, between societies, between groups. And that's where domination comes up. When there are contestation, people want to dominate the other. They want to be superior. They want to be superior to the other. They want to cheat the other. They want to exploit the other. So there's no way, even in our personal life, there's competition. There's contestations every now and then. Because that is, at times, it helps for development if it's healthy. Conflict and competition, if they are healthy, helps for development. They contribute. Because it's from that we evolve development. Development will evolve from those contestations. But once they are negative, they bring back the development and the progress of the society or the group that that are competing with one another. So there's no life that is without contestation. There's no life without competition. These things, if they are healthy, they help to support development. If they are negative, they bring back the society or the group. So we need it if they are good. Okay,
so we've seen Nigeria as well having internal conflicts from one geopolitical zone to the other, from one state or region to the other. So if you're going to contextualize it, how would you describe the internal conflicts that Nigeria is having presently?
Yeah, our present internal conflict is born out of a lot of negative tendencies. Negative in the sense that, like I mentioned earlier on, they are not healthy competition or contestations. They are not healthy. Because if you look at our background as a country, the post-independent political elites were involved in competitions between one another, between the East, the Southwest, the North, that region. And then when it started, it was like, it was healthy. And that's why you have development in the Southwest, you have developed the groundnut heaps in the North, the coal in the Southeast, the cocoa in the Southwest, and all the regions were developing. They were like competing with one another, which was good for us. Universities coming up, the cocoa house, everything now blazing the trail in most things in education, and other people are also following in a very healthy competition, very healthy one. And it brought development to the region. But when our politicians started introducing religion, they started introducing electricity, they started introducing, although it was also, it also happened during that the first Nigerian political generation. It happened, but it wasn't as pronounced as it is now. Then they were using those things to bore up development in all the regions, and the regions were competing with one another. Everybody was trying to say, what do I do to my people? How do I develop my region? And this and that. And at the end of the day, it helped. It assisted in bringing development to the people. But presently, our leaders manipulate things, they manipulate ethnic fault lines, they manipulate political issues. Everything is being politicized to the extent that you find that this thing is becoming so divisive. It has generated very hot conflict that has taken a lot of valuable life among Nigerians. So the ethnic fault lines is being manipulated by our politicians. Then the religious issues has brought so much division, so much hatred, so much hate among the people that it has become so unproductive, and it's really affecting us. All these internal things are manipulations on religious basis, manipulations on ethnic basis, in order to, and they are not meant for development of those regions or those areas by those people. They are only meant for the personal gain of the politician himself. He wants to win election. He wants to do this. He said he's bringing a development project to his people so that when he comes back the next election period, he'll be able to convince them and deceive them to vote for him to be there forever. But in those days, it was for regional development. And we could see all these things happening and helping to develop those various regions. And there was development in every facet of the Nigerian economy based on the regional competition. But now it's for personal gains, and it's not really helping us. And that's why the thing has become with the whole country has become so fractionalized that a lot of things we don't really know what is happening. And it's really bringing us back.
If we devolve power to the regions and strengthen them, will that help?
To some extent, but going during the regional way, maybe in terms of managing some of the facilities like power, like supply of petroleum products, and all those things will help us. But the political conflict will be so serious in some areas that this may even affect the economic benefit. But the way it is, Nigeria is a very big country, and we need to divest some of these things that are on the exclusive list of the federal government for regional authorities or for state authorities to manage them for the purpose of ensuring efficiency and effectiveness in the management of those facilities like power. It's becoming every day we're having the national grid breaking down. Fuel is not available. These are things, and you find out that most of the state government have their independent power project. Like Lagos has, their secretariat is being powered by their independent power projects. Ogun State has, and many other states like that. So why not devolve power to some of these regional authorities or state authorities for them to manage? When you micromanage amenities, it becomes more effective. Like when there was this, the last time we had it about a week ago or so, when we had the national big now, where will the man in Anambra State in Oka, who will he go and meet that there's no light in my area? Because it's a national grid, and there's no so. But if these things is devolved, if we devolve them into the different local areas, the local people will know to go and meet when there's problem, and they are better managed, they are better handled at that level than somebody who is just up there, somebody you just imagine is the man in charge of generation and transmission, and when there's no light, you don't even know where to go to. So if you devolve some of these things to the regional level or the state level, it's going to help for better management, it's going to help for better delivery of service, and the Nigeria will be better off at the end of the day.
Dr. Gregory, we're due for another break again. I will hold you on that. And when we return, we will be going back to the devolution issue, the restructuring of Nigeria, and some other developmental issues. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Leah Katung Babatunde, and this is Top Talk. I have the privilege of speaking with Dr. Obayomi Olukayode Gregory. He is a highly experienced professional with a strong background in administration, public relations, security, and academia. He also has a proven track record in leadership management and strategic planning, skilled in communication, conflict resolution, and team building. Doctor, how did you get to become one in so many things at the same time?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for having me. It's been a life of sojourn into different areas of endeavor. I like doing a lot of things to give me various skills in life. I've always wanted to be an academic in my life. I've always wanted to go into different areas, into different professions, in order to make a total development of my being as a human being. So I think I've been able to do that at least over the decades. So I like acquiring knowledge, I like acquiring intelligence, I like acquiring education, real education. And that's what has taken me into all these different facets of life that I've acquired up to today by the grace of God.
Yes, I've seen that you've traversed educational institutions both locally and internationally. And what would you describe that you found to be the most intriguing in having to acquire knowledge?
Yeah, knowledge renews the life of an average human being. Renew, that's the word. Because the brain and the human system is like a budding flower that needs nourishment, that needs a kind of necessary nourishment to make it flourish. You see, if you know the Amanda flower, when it's in this budding stage, it's like a green closed flower. But when it sees sun and it blossoms, it brings out the yellow in it, and that's how the brain reacts to acquisition of knowledge, acquisition of skills, and other things that make a human being a total human being. So it's been very interesting, and it makes a difference. Every area you go into to acquire knowledge, to acquire skill, you become renewed, you become more improved. The life becomes more improved because you are no more the person you were yesterday. So it add value to your life, adds meaning to your life, and the experience becomes so varied and multifaceted.
As a growing child, for me personally now, maths used to be one of my favorite subjects up until when I got to secondary school, and then the decline started. And of course, you find that a lot of people don't really love numbers. It's just like it's a necessary evil that we have to deal with. Yeah. So what is that approach to maths? I'm asking this question really because when you look at the exams results, that is one subject that, despite the fact that it is seriously needed, the pass level is always supplement. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the way our teachers of those days and maybe presently deliver, the mode of delivery of the subject is the major problem. Our teaching method here in the developing world is so abstract, it's not real. They don't. Most of our teachers, usually when we're growing, you observe that when the math teacher is coming in, you are scared, you are not happy. You know, the man will just come in and start talking jargons on the blackboard. He's always doing the thing in an abstract way. No, that's not how it's done in developing countries that translate knowledge into practicality, that translate knowledge into real life situation. The pedagogy used in teaching mathematics, the methods, has to be friendly, it has to be real, it has to be lively, it has to be attractive to the students. And that is what some of these institutions where I work and in other countries, that's what they are established to do, to give us to establish a very friendly way of teaching mathematics. You can use cartoon to teach mathematics, you can use things that will be of interest to the child, so that as you are delivering the knowledge, the reception will be very positive and interesting on the part of the children. But in our own case, we make it so abstract. The teacher himself, who is teaching, may not even understand what he's teaching. He just knows 1 + 1 is 2. How do you dramatize that? How do you bring it to real life situation? Those are the things that encourage the teaching, and that's why most of us, when we were young, we never loved mathematics. But if you see the way this thing is being taught, the practical way, demonstration, the pedagogy has to be sweet and friendly. So, and with that, it sticks to the child. But the way we do it here is why we'll be having problems, and the interest of the child is not really evoked because of the abstract way our professionals, so-called professionals, teach their mathematics. But our institution is trying to turn around this method and make sure we have a friendly procedure, we have a friendly method of delivering the teaching and learning of mathematics.
Yes, I was going to come to that question actually, and that is basically because, yes, I left university more than 2 decades ago, and it was a kind of a thing we used to joke about, is that when you go to the sciences faculty, there are some departments you don't want to have anything to do with them.
There, yeah.
Yes, like the mathematics department, they look the same,
yes.
and they look kind of, sorry to use the word, boring.
Yeah.
And there's 10. They don't just have anything friendly about them.
Yeah.
Now, what does that do to the psychology of a child now? And then, what is your institution doing? What kinds of conversation are you having at the center with institutions, universities, schools, the teaching boards across the country?
Yeah, the method used, like you said, when we were in school, kills the interest of the child in mathematics. It just kills the interest right from the onset. And most of the children will just be grappling with understanding, with wanting to pass it, because you need it to even get admission after your secondary school education. So you have no choice than to be grappling with whatever, maybe cheating and doing many other things to survive. But that be as it may, our institutions was established many decades by the National Mathematical Center, and we've been having collaborations with foreign institutions. We've been having collaboration with universities, where, you know, abroad is the science, the STEM education. The STEM education is the basic thing that is driving technological development, is driving development generally in the economy. And the world we are now is technology. Everything is technology, inventions, discoveries. So we have collaborations with many of these institutions all over the world, many of the establishments that we collaborate, and they come here to train some of our staff. And our staff also train university staff, university student lecturers in the Polytechnic, in the university, in the College of Education, and even directly the students themselves at the secondary school level, at the university level. We have competitions for them. We are engaged in the International Olympiad, where we take our children in Nigeria after training them in mathematics. And you'll be surprised that if you use the right method, there are some very brilliant Nigerian students that have performed well. But because we don't celebrate knowledge, acquisition of knowledge, or discoveries in the knowledge area, we don't celebrate. We only celebrate a big brother thing where everybody's interested in Nigeria. That's why you don't hear some of these things. Some of our Nigerian students they came third in most of the international mathematics competition abroad, where you have more than 100 countries participating: China, the US, Japan. You see Nigerian students coming third, honorable mention, and many other things in these international competitions. And we trade them here. We do competition, local competition. We have this, what we call the Olympiad. We do local competition for them here, bring them from the different states to Abuja, train them, and take them out. We've been doing that over the years, but they are not celebrated because our government and our country we don't have interest in this kind of thing that will help development, that will help technological acquisition. And that's why we've not been hearing about it. But Nigerians are very spectacular, being human beings that can compete with any human being in the world. When we go out with some of our children, they fear us that are Nigerians. And you can see the breakthrough we have all over the world, Nigerians abroad making waves and breakthroughs all over the place. So we are trying our best, but the resources are not too good. We won't blame government because there are a lot of agencies they are taking care of. About the little we have been doing some little improvements in order to engage our students and make them come out well in their competition with other children from other countries at various international competitions. Okay,
you've raised some issues which I would want to dwell on, and I would start by the issue of the way some people go about having to pass the mathematics exams. And this is not just only about maths now, it is about some other subjects. You find that we have centers known as miracle centers for exams, both the WAEC and the JAM, and they still persist till today. The examination bodies know them. The society know them. everyone knows they exist, but we still have them. What does that do to a nation?
What you have mentioned is a very sad story each time I hear it, because I experience it and I see it every day. The level of cheating in this country is so embarrassing. The level of collusion, even by parents, by institutions, to help students cheat is so, I don't know how to qualify it. Because like you said earlier on, I'm always involved. I'm always involved in one educational activity. Recently, I just finished an exam at my age, just October. I just did the final exam. I'm writing a project somewhere. So I still mix up with children. In 95, I wanted to do, because I didn't do literature in secondary school. So I wanted to do law. I wanted to go and do law as another additional degree. So they said I must have literature. I said, okay, yes, let me go and register for GC and pass it so that I can seek admission. That was the time I still had that ambition, but maybe it will be possible in Nigeria. I went for that GCE in one somewhere in Abeokuta. And the level of cheating, the level of fraud I saw during that exam, I was taken aback. The children, once they bring the paper, because me, I read, I wanted to pass, I wanted to do it my own way. The children were even making jest of me, say, Baba, because I was older than most of them, say, Baba, Baba has finished, because they won't write anything. They are so organizing in a way that the vigilator, once they distribute the teacher, the exam, the question paper for those of us who want to write our exam, about 1 or 2, in the whole of the center, the children will just wait like this, waiting for the answers to be brought to them from the bush. And for a whole hour, for a paper of about 2-3 hours, they won't write it. They will just even be disturbing those of us who are writing, because I didn't know it was like that. So when I got there, I said, is it that was then, 95. I was thinking maybe this thing has, because for some time, I went to a private institution. All these ones I've done were in private institution, and it do happen, but it wasn't as serious as being organized by parents and authorities, even school authorities, to make their school look as if they are doing well, in order for patronage students to come into their school the next session. They organize this thing, and it's so worrisome that I start asking myself, we are criticizing our political leaders, our politicians. What are we doing at our level? As a teacher, as a student, as an invigilator, what are we doing at our level? There's problem. I won't deceive you. There's serious problem. The one I experienced recently, I won't mention the institution. In the whole of the class, I saw pastors cheating. Elderly people about my age. I don't want to mention the other people. I have to call them at the end of the day, because I said, Pastor, you joined them. He said, Baba, I don't understand though. This thing, the way it came, I disappointed myself. I said, Pastor, even in an exam recently, last month, and I don't want to mention the institution, and you find out that it's so pervasive, so disturbing, so shameful, that you start. That's why in most of these science, in most of these parastatals we have, you employ graduates as level 8 officers or as a graduate in your establishment. If you employ 10, before you will see one that can write a sentence without a mistake, you have to wait till eternity. And that is the impact of this. And some of these things, these people find themselves in position of authority. They find themselves in position of administration in future. And this thing impacts on our economy, on our life as Nigerians and in our country. And this is why we've been having problems. It's so bad, madam. It's so bad. I was so sad in a class of only 45. It's not as if I'm praising myself. My colleagues, those people I studied will know. I was the only one. Even some of my friends, I say, hey, you two joined. I said, I better fail. There's something I'm going to use as a I'm just using it for acquisition of knowledge for my personal. I'm not going to use it to look for any job. Even if I'm going to use it, what I did not do at the age of 20, 30, I will now start. I said, let me go fail honorably. Madam is so bad. The way they cheat, they cheat in a computerized way. Digitalized as they are using Google, they are using AI, they are using different methods in class. They will write on the whole tables. The whole table in class, I was in there. I just saw with my table. I said, who changed this table? They've written the whole answer of the exam on the table, the previous one. So I don't know. We will only blame our leaders. But those of our children, they are our parents. I don't know how a parents will go and organize at a center for them to assist his child, and you will say the child has gotten 10 A's and you are happy. You are destroying the child. It's a big problem, man. And I hope God will intervene, because the way it is, the collusion is serious. Exam cheat in Nigeria, it has gone to a level that you can't believe it, except you witness it. That's what I think. Okay,
I want to take you on this last line. And that is basically because you have touched another thing, that is the quality of the leadership that we have. And talking about the quality of the leadership we have now, how is this going to affect the place of Nigeria in regional politics and the continental politics, the landscape, if we don't put leaders with quality out there?
Yeah, I know you agree with me that in all our institutions, I'm not playing this holier than thou attitude. I'm not. This is what we see every day. And me, I will say the truth of what I see. In most of our institutions, parastatals and departments, you find out that the good ones don't have the space to breathe. It's those ones who can backbite, those ones who cannot do anything that you see being played up, occupying sensitive positions. And when you put them there, they want to play the role of the big man. And in most cases, the delivery is always very, 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 very worrisome. The delivery of their output is such, because once a child, you see, it's so bad that you need to go to some of our institutions and ask somebody who's on level 10, level 14 to write something for you. You'll be amazed at the rot that has gone into our educational system. Somebody who has a big post, a big man occupying a big post. But because the background, it's like our society only promotes fraud, only because, don't let me say only, I mean, the level of fraud, the level of abnormality prevailing everywhere is so worrisome that if you want to do the right thing, you are in trouble. So that the leadership evolution, the leadership recruitment process is faulty, because the products are not well grounded. It is those who are not well grounded in our society, in most cases, that have their way. And it's affecting. There are many good Nigerians, many brilliant Nigerians, highly skilled, who can make inventions, who can make technological breakthrough. But they won't allow them, because such people will not want to backbite. They won't want to destroy people. They won't want to go and tell lies against people in order to get up. They want to do their own thing, but they are not allowed. That is the irony of our problem in this country. Because the good ones are subdued, they are cheated, they are oppressed. Everywhere, I see this everywhere. And if you are saying the truth, or you want to do the right thing, you look odd. But the truth is that for those who want to do it, they should just believe in it and they remain on their lane. So this particular cheating thing we talk in our examination is affecting the country. And what I normally ask people when they criticize government, criticize politicians, I say, what do you do at your level? Exactly. I was asking my junior colleague in the exam, I said, you people will be talking, politicians are no good, our leaders are bad. I said, this is one that you people are doing here, is not worse. When you get to that, are you not going to do what you are doing here? Fraud.
Exactly. Cheating. Exactly, Doctor. I'm told that we have to go on break now, and so we'll take this break and we'll be right back shortly.
Okay.
It is still Top Talk, and I have been speaking with Dr. Obayomi Gregory. Doctor, we're back.
Thank you.
Yes, and I would like to continue from where I stopped. And the first stop will be where you left off, which has to do with electricity, the national grid. But that is not all. I'm saying that is not all because still at the center you find that there's a Federal Ministry of Water Resources. there's a federal Ministry of Agri and Works, for instance. See the bad roads we're having all over the place. And it begs to answer, why are we leaving the roads in the hand of the federal government that clearly is not meeting up to expectations? We've just heard recently the Minister of Works say that all federal roads will be motorable by the end of the year. Is that possible?
No. Some of these things look like fantasy. And it's really very unfortunate that, you see, when I watch TV at times, I used to ask myself, are these people, are they thinking Nigerians are blockheads that they don't even understand it? Is that this thing this man is saying himself, he knows that is not, they are all lies. When an old man starts saying things that are not feasible, things that are not practicable, you start asking yourself, these people, do they really have children? If I were to be one of them, I would say that you are telling lies on television today. You see, some of these things are not practicable. And they themselves who are saying it, they know. You see, because you see, all these things boils down to corruption, to fraud in the system. Why not allow the various local governments, and thank God this government, they have done one thing that they want to really energize things at the local level, at the local government level, with this thing they did that they should be giving their allocation directly, which is good. But if they're able to practice that, that is where we start seeing some of this development that we need in our areas, because the real Nigeria is in the local area. I mean, what is the percentage, the number of those of us at the cities? Even the cities are not better off. So when you devolve development, if you allow it to go down to the masses, they will feel it. We should disengage, federal government should disengage from some of these things. If you go to other countries, the police system is at the county level, the water management system is at the county level, at the local government level, like in the US, and all these things are better managed. Once there are problems, the indigenous, the citizen can go to their local government area and say, please, we have this problem. And they have somebody to talk to. Not somebody who's in charge of water resources in the ministry in Abuja. What about the man in Kafancha? What about the man in Noka? What about the man in Lagos? What access do they have to these people to complain? How do they even get their feedback from the services they are delivering to these people? There's no feedback system, and they are not even interested. So I think the federal government is taking too much things, even education. Allow it to be handled by the local people and the private sector. You say they are deregulating the fuel sector. Still, you are still intervening. A private person came, built a refinery. He wants to be selling his fuel. NNPCL is still doing the middleman something. I don't know what is happening. You see, once people are not straightforward, when there's no sincerity in whatever you are doing, the whole thing will look so clumsy. And these are very simple and straightforward issues that should be handled directly. So there should be a lot of activation of the delivery of service at the local level. Let the people feel it. Majority of Nigerians are at the local level. They are at the village level. And all this display we do at our state or at Abuja level does not really trickle down to the people. They don't feel the effect. They don't get the impact, the necessary impact they need to have on the people. And at the end of the day, the resources are filtered away by those in charge. And that's why, if you don't have, I don't see the reason why the federal government should be involved in many things. So the provision of this administration should be allowed to go down to states and the local government area. And let the federal government coordinate some other things like they did during the First Republic. The external issues, or the financial issues, and all these things. When there's a private man is now Dangote has told us this morning how much they were selling fuel for the first time to the federal government. Now we have seen the private people are saying he did not want that his price was better, it was higher than what they were importing when they said they were importing. And now he has said no. So we could see that there's a cabal, there's a group that don't want Nigeria to continue to suffer these God-given resources that God has given us, what we should be enjoying. Some people are just bent on making Nigeria ungovernable for them. Even maybe some of them are in government, some of them are outside government because of their personal gains. So we need to really come out and do what is right to make our people. Nigerians are suffocating. They are really suffocating.
So, Doctor, if we're going to start talking about Dangote and NNPCL, perhaps we're not going to end it, as we say amongst us the journalists, that it is something we might spend the next 1 year talking about until they come out and tell us exactly what's going on there. But another thing you talked about is the issue of security. And we've seen a pushback against state policing. And then it leaves one to ask questions. You go to Zamfara, you go to Katsina, you go to Sokoto, for instance. They are close by states that I have been to. And you go to some of these settings, you don't see a single policeman there. There's no police station, there's no police outpost. And these guys have been exposed to the vagaries of life and having to deal with all the bad elements. And you know, they're facing the climate change effect, they're facing the insurgents and just everything at once. Have we forgotten them, or are they so far away from the center?
Not that they are really far away from the center, but they are not on the minds of some of our leaders. I mean, the people. Because, you see, the people have been talking about decentralizing the police. I think that's a major step government must take to ensure that there's security in the subnationals. Because there are many of these. I was fortunate to travel somewhere in the north some times ago, and you see very vast landmass with nothing, unoccupied space. And this is where some of these kidnappers and some of these terrorists use as their abode. That's their comfort zone. And ungoverned space. There are many ungoverned spaces in Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. And those areas are not well manned by our security agencies. So the police structure should be devolved to the subnationals so that they can have direct access to the people. They will be direct in the middle of the people they are protecting. You can't be too far away from a location. So some of these things, like we said, there should be a kind of restructuring. If that is what we want to use to explain it, we should have a kind of restructuring. Let the federal government divest itself of many of these responsibilities and empower. They are giving a lot of resources to state now. With this removal of state, so the states are getting very humongous financial support from the federal government.
So we need to pay attention to what the states
what they are doing with it. So give them more. If you are giving them more money, give them more responsibility, devolve more responsibility to them. And let the federal government be light and be able to face the things that connect all of us together. You are giving them more money because you have more resources. So let them have more responsibility, because if not, they will just be taking this money to bureau de change and be changing it and be sending it to their accounts abroad. And that's what is happening.
One last question, Doctor.
Yes.
We're in November and we have not seen the budget 2025. Is that a concern?
It's unfortunate. The past 6 or 7 years, we've witnessed the declaration of the budget at the beginning of the year, which was a good one for the past government of Buhari that just left. They did it at the right time, ensuring that at the end of the year, as we are entering the new year, they are launching a new budget for the country. But that may be ceremonial. It was ceremonial as far as I'm concerned, because what impact does that have on the welfare of the people when it was even done at the right time? Now that it's even done, it's not done at the right time and it's coming late, then you can imagine the level of impact it's going to have. I don't know, this is our country. I don't know why our leaders are not thinking of building on good things that somebody has done. We are always moving backwards, and we are seeing other society moving forward. At least that administration set that mark that they were able to sign the budget at the end of the year into the new year, as we are going into the new year. They were able to achieve that. Like I said, that may be ceremonial. That was ceremonial. But that be as it may, that's supposed to be the custom. That's supposed to be the tradition. At least they were able to abide or be able to stand or stick to that tradition. But what impact does that have on the welfare? What do the impact did it have on the welfare of the people? I will not say it doesn't have. It's just ephemeral. It was ceremonial. But be that as it may, it would have expected this government to work towards that fulfillment, so that at least we start having some level of sanity in our system, some level of decorum, some level of doing things the way we're supposed to do it. But now, I don't know whether they'll be able to make it. But you know, they have their magic wand. They can just sit today and say they pass everything, not giving a credence to quality or anything. they can sit down and say we pass it within a week and yeah, go.
But does that give it credibility?
It
Sorry
doesn't.
to cut you in. That is because the 2024 budget, we've seen so many funny things
Yes,
in the budget.
yes, that's what happens.
MDAs left the mandate they were assigned
Yeah.
and went about on constituency projects and other things.
Yeah.
Can we afford all that now?
It's not helping us. It's not helping us at all. But you see, the main issue is that our leaders should go and develop interest in the people. You see, when you think of yourself, because all these things, they don't care, because they know at the end of the day, they will part, they will bring the money back through other means, and it's not going to have the necessary impact. If people are really dedicated and we want this thing to have impact on our people, they will do it the right way. They will do it the way that it will deliver service to the people. But because they know where it's going to end, that most of this money will end in private pockets of people in government and in business, they say, let's just do it. Pass. They say it's a legislation. They will go and drop the thing there, bow, and those are ceremonies as far as I'm concerned.
So we hope that if we can see some changes.
I hope. Nigeria needs a total rejuvenation of the whole system, a total reviewing of even the human beings.
Okay.
Because those who are handling our affairs now, I pray God to touch their hearts so that the people can have a feel of our giving resources.
Yes, I must thank you, Dr. Gregory, for making time for this conversation.
Thank you very much.
And it is on that note that we birth for this week, and hopefully we'll return your way again same time next week. My name is Leah Katung, Babatunde, and as always, God bless Nigeria.